Hey guys, welcome to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace your car's side markers on your rear bumper and put some LED side markers there. So they can look like that. Pretty nice and bright. So I'm going to show you how to swap them out if you have a 99 to 04 Mustang, and then if you have a 94 to 98 Mustang, I'll show you how to modify them so they fit. Stay tuned.
Music bed.
Alright, so the first step is to take these side markers off. Pretty simple process, so let me show you here. You will need a couple screwdrivers. I started taking this side off. So the reason I was going to replace this is this one is broken, which a lot of, these are older cars, so they'll break off. And so I was thinking, well, if I'm going to buy new ones, I'm going to try to get those ones to light up for like the new edge Mustangs. Now they don't sell them for this year car, 94 through 98, so they sell replacements or like the the ones that are smoked. But this is missing a screw here, so you have two screws, one on top, one on here. I do have a couple short screwdrivers, and it just depends. If you have wheels that stick out a little bit more, then you'll probably want something really short like this one, or take your tire off, or your wheel and tire off, and just do it that way. So take both of these off. Pretty simple here. And then here on the bottom there's going to be a clip, like a, I don't know if you can see it if I go down here. There's a small clip, so you want to take that off. So this is what it looks like. It's just a Christmas tree push pin. Be careful taking it off, because then if you break it, then you'll have to buy a new one. Now if you can see, as you can see here, you have a little bit of room to pull, but not nearly as much. So the next step would be to go inside your trunk. Now I already taken the piece here. There's usually a piece here with this in the middle. And so this piece has those 4 push pins, same thing, really long Christmas tree push pins. And so you want to take those off. Just pull them off with like a screwdriver or anything like that. Sorry about the lighting if it's too dark. Once you do that, just there's a couple more. There's these that are here on the side, so you take those off, and then you pull that piece off that comes here, and then you're gonna pull this piece back a little bit. So this piece sometimes on your vehicle, it's gonna have like a piece here. Actually this one does have it, so I'll show you if you can see it in there. So it's just like a little plastic retainer, so you unscrew it, and then you're gonna push down just so you get out of that hole, and just pull it back a little bit. You don't have to pull it all the way off. It's not really necessary, I say. And then you can get back here in the inside of the quarter panel here, so you can see right in there. And then there's going to be an 11 or two 11 millimeter nuts right in there. This one's here. Now this kind of works out because as you can see in here, hopefully you can see, there's like a rubber kind of insulation that covers a hole there. And so the wires for those light up pieces, we can put them in through here and then hook them up to the wire here for your taillight harness. So that way you don't have to like drill any holes or anything. Just punch like a really small hole in that, feed the wire through it, and then you know, run that wire in so you don't have to necessarily like drill a separate hole or, you know, worry about water getting in if you drill a hole or anything like that. Alright, so once those two nuts are out, then you should be able to just pull the bumper back. And it's gonna depend on your vehicle, so well, this is where it might get a little bit funkier on yours. So mine, this piece is off of the bumper, okay? There's 3 holes here, and there's rivets that's supposed to be riveted in here, and this hole, this is held onto the bumper. And pretty much what happens is those come off, or whatever reason people just pull them out. They might be just plastic rivets. Actually, it looks like they're plastic. So this is a factory one in there, or what's left of it. Here's probably what was left of the other one. So since they're plastic, you know, they break off. But this just holds this piece to the bumper. So what I'm gonna do also when I'm done is I'm gonna probably put new rivets in here. But usually if you don't have the rivets, you know, you don't have the right like rivet gun or anything, just put that piece right in the holes there, guide it in. So do the first one first, and then you can start the bolts underneath inside the car, and it's gonna pull the bumper in and hold it in there. But if it's riveted on, then it's gonna be, you know, it's just gonna be held in there better. So this way you can almost just kind of pull the bumper out of here. It just pinches it in there. But anyways, that's something that, you know, you might have to deal with or whatnot. Once you get that piece pulled up, there's going to be, let me see if I can put the camera here. There's going to be a couple of nuts that hold that lens in there. I think you can see it in there. So go ahead and take those out. Now, if for whatever reason you need to, like, you know, do anything with your bumper as far as, you know, maybe align it or anything, then this would be a good time to take it out. And I think those are 10 millimeters. Now I done these on a New Edge car, so they have the same style, you know, where you bolt them from the back, and then the wires go through one of these little, I believe they go through the center of one of these nuts. This is what these are. So what happens most of the time that you try to take these off, since these are bolted onto plastic, that whole plastic tab just breaks off. I remember before trying to get some of these that were good at a salvage yard, and every single one that I tried to unbolt those nuts off of, the whole stud would just break off. So at that point, I mean, I guess you can double side tape them, but you can't bolt them on. These are actually, quite frankly, they're pretty good condition because, well, this one anyways, the nut's not broken out. So that's how you take it off. Now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just finish up the other side, and then I'm gonna see if I can modify those new ones. So this is the other side, so that's what I'm telling you. you know, beware if yours are okay and you're just taking them off to see if you're able to do this. You know, make sure that you're ready to buy new ones, because this could happen where as soon as you try to take these nuts off, they just pretty much shear off the back completely. So, alright, so now after taking the side markers off your car, this is the main, pretty much the main part here if you have a 94 to 98 Mustang. If you have a 99 to 04, I mean, you pretty much skip to the next part where I put them back on and wire them in. But 94 to 98 Mustangs, from as far as I looked around, they don't make the LED markers. So if you can see there, you know, that's the difference, 94 to 98 to 99 to 04. These ones are a little bit more squared, and so if you try to put them in there, I mean, they just really won't fit. Mainly on the corners here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut this one. Just to remember, is this one here is for the driver's side. So on the 94 to 98, they're a little bit different on the side. So this one's a little bit, you know, has a extended curve. This one's a little bit sharper. So if I put this one and flip it on this, you know, to trace it, that's fine, but this is only gonna work for the passenger side. So just remember that, that way you don't cut two of the same side, and so you end up with one that's got the same shape. So what I did is cut this little cardboard piece out to match this one. And so since this is for the passenger side, it's the opposite. I'm gonna flip it. That way it fits this way. And I just went and confirm again. I don't wanna, you know, cut it. You know what they say, cut one, measure twice, cut once. So I'm gonna go to this edge here, so that way I don't cut all the corners. And then I'm just gonna get my Sharpie here and just trace around the edge here. And as you can see, it's not too much material you have to sand off, but that's what's gonna make it fit on your 94 204. Make sure you wear safety glasses. And so what I'm using is my grinder here with one of these sanding discs from Home Depot. This is a 40 grit. This worked really well just to sand off the plastic, and we're just gonna sand it around, okay? Now that it's all cut, I'm just gonna go double check one more time. All right, so that does fits in the bumper really good. The next thing to do is, if you can see here in the camera, when you grind off this corner, it's gonna expose the little board. And it's just a piece of metal that holds the LED strip. So, you know, as long as you keep it to the edge, the LED strips are right in the middle, so you don't get to those really. You only get to the corners here and right there. So what you want to do is put you know, some kind of silicone, like clear silicone, RTV, just something that the water doesn't go in there and damage your LED strip. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of I have some black RTV. Quite honestly, if I had some clear, I would probably just do clear, but I didn't have any around today, so I'm just gonna put some black RTV, and I'm just gonna make sure it's worked in there and covers all of the hole. You don't have to like push it in, just make sure that it covers all of the hole. You don't want moisture to get in there. Alright, so once you put the RTV silicone, just like I said, make sure you cover the holes. You're not going to be able to see it from the top anyways. just let it dry. That way that dries up a little bit before you start putting it in there. You know, if you start putting it in there, you're gonna probably get some of the RTV all over the place. So just give it a few minutes to dry. Well, more like 20-30 minutes, and then let's pop them back in. All right, so once your light is dry enough, don't forget to save the little nuts that came off the old one here, because you're gonna have to reuse them for this new one. They don't come with new ones. And with the wires, you know, once they're in there, I'll go ahead and tape them together. But you can't do that yet because each one's gonna go through each individual hole here. So we'll go ahead and start by fishing the wire in there. So this would be the same thing to do the, you know, 99-204 Mustang. This would be the part where you would be putting them back on. So feed your wire in there. Both of them, just line up the holes. And they're pretty much just gonna slide right in. And then put the nuts in here. You're gonna get your nut and put the wire through there, because remember that little stud has the wire through there. And just go all the way in there. And these are kind of like self-tapping nuts, because they're like a sharp metal. They're gonna make like a thread on the plastic, so just start them by hand. Once they get tight, you'll just get your like a wrench. Because remember, the wire's through the middle, so I'm gonna put this ratchet wrench, just put the wire through the middle again here, so just to make it easier. But you could just do the open inside of the wrench. And don't tighten them too much, because remember, it's a plastic little stud in there. So I'm gonna get my other nut and put it through the other wire. If you tighten it too much, it might just break it off for you. So just, you know, enough to snug it in there, but not. And just get your wrench and tighten it up. So that's it. That's pretty much installed. Now, to run the wires in your car, there's going to be this little rubber plug right in there. I'm going to pull it out here real quick. This rubber plug goes right pretty much behind this piece here. So we're just going to kind of make like a little hole to put the wires through there. Let me show you. I have this special like screwdriver that has a hole in the center. But you can just make like a little slit and I'm gonna do this. Put the wires here together and then just put them through that hole. And I'm just gonna push in that rubber grommet back in. Now I'll go ahead and show you guys inside the trunk here. Well, this might be a little bit harder to see because of the lighting, but bear with me. So you see the wires right in here. That's where they're gonna come out through. I'm just gonna pull them in. You know, you don't want a bunch of wire on the outside, so that's it there. And then I have some wire harness tape here, or Tessa tape. And I'm just gonna wrap these with this together. Now you can use some wire loom if you prefer, you know, whatever you prefer to use. I'm just doing this to keep the wires together, you know, a little bit neater. They don't spread out all over the place. And we're gonna go right here to where this tail light harness plugs in. So that's all you're gonna need, or that's the length you're gonna need. I think that would be enough for right now. All right, so you can peel the tape off this harness if this one was already peeled when we have that mouse problem in here, but just double check. So I'm pretty sure from the other one, let's see, it was brown and black. So I believe it's the brown and the black here. The black is your ground. And I believe the brown is just your running light. And just make sure, you know, gonna plug that in and turn the lights on. And that's just the running lights right there. Get your test light and just double check, you know, that's that brown one. I believe this one was the brake light. Obviously it's not on, so it's gonna be this brown one right there. All right, got both of the wires connected here. So brown is the green, black is black. I do recommend you splicing to these wires on this side of the harness here on the bottom, not the top, because if you need to take your tail light out to change bulbs or anything, you don't want to be messing with those wires. So do it on the bottom part of that. So once you do that, then you know your lights are working there. We're gonna go ahead and put the bumper back on there. So we have to line up the holes there and finish putting those bolts here on the inside. So once you get those lined up, just go ahead and grab the nuts. And that's going to be an 11mm in here. And that's pretty much it here on the inside. Obviously you want to put your cover in here, but you know, that just slips right in. And then right on the outside, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna put these two little bolts right here on the bumper, and that's it. And that's your end product. So they look pretty nice, you know. Really, I mean, I needed new ones because my old ones were, one of them was broken anyways, but that looks good. You know, if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave the thumbs up.